show you. So this thing here. So I was building this SWAT van, truck, right? Mack truck, whatever it is. And I was watching the first episode, first movie, 2 hours long, I think it was. And it really, I watched the first episode and I was like, whoa, the name of this is it's called Mawaru Penguindrum, right? So let me get the right movie element here, trailer thing. Thought I had it here. So that's what it's based off. So let me get to the name of the movie. So it's a recycle of the Penguindrum, right? And I watched it. I wasn't expecting. I didn't even watch the trailer, right? I didn't look at too much about it. It was just a little blurb that says, it was basically saying, these kids go, try to save their friend, or the sister or whatever, and these boys, sorry, I should say, and that was it. I was like, okay, let's watch this, and it was like, and then some of the blurb was like, kind of like, descriptors were like avant-garde, and I was like, okay, I'll try something different, and sure enough, I enjoyed it, and then I was like, okay, cool, this looks interesting, and next thing, I was like really engrossed in it. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I'll give it 8 out of 10. And then so I put up a little, sorry, before I got to there, I checked the movie, like the music at the end on YouTube. I just wanted to know who had done it, because the music itself, the song, was really touching, and I felt like, I need to know more about who the artist is. So I'm searching, and I come across a Japanese site for it. Not site, but like the Japanese page, which is King Amusement and Creative official channel, right? And it's all like in Japanese, and so I don't know what which one was which. So the movie came out last year, and so I posted saying, hey, just watch the first movie, also about to watch the second. The song stood out beautifully. For those who can't read kanji, can someone please list the artist's name and also the song title? And then I did a search, because for this, again, and then I found that it was actually, let me see. So it's by, gosh, I've lost it there. Yeah, like this beautiful, gosh, it just really touched me, right? I was like, this outro music was just like this. There's so much emotion in it. I can't even understand the language, right? Because of course I can't read kanji, nor can I speak Japanese. But I found like this, I'll share this the post for it, so you guys can like just see it, or see what we're talking about, because it's just something I found. It touched me, man. Kind of like, you kind of go like, well, hopefully YouTube doesn't ding me for this. Like, I got dinged last time for I think the wrestling stuff we talked about, and I really had a really good, talking about injuries and things. So please, YouTube, please, this is fair use, right? I'm just going to use a bit of the, this music, and it's on your friggin' site. So please don't, don't mess up my video, please, because I want you guys just to hear this beautiful song, and hopefully you'll listen to it yourselves. And it's just such a, ねえ神様、僕を全部使って繰り返すも All right, that's it. That's all I'm going to play. I don't want to get dinged. So I'll fast forward to. Let me see if I can get you guys something good to look at while we do this. So there's a show, right? This is one of the brothers, one of the boys, and next to him is Carmen. Hold on, Khan. Yeah, Khan. So the one with the brown hair is Khan. The one with the blue hair is Show, right? And gosh, I like I said, didn't expect this movie to be anything but just something to just pass the time. And by the end, when the song started going, I started getting a bit emotional because like the song was starting to read. There was this beauty about like how music connects people. You don't need to like. And this is a perfect example of not, sort of like not excuse me, not like knowing the language or understanding the language, but the emotion, you can feel it, right? You can feel it coming through, and you can like really, you don't need to understand, like, and I get to enjoy a lot of music like this. I get to enjoy a lot of like metal from other cultures like that. Like I said, when I was doing, previously, I've noted on here that like I used to do a radio show, and for about 6 or 8 months, and around about 2018, 19, and you know, the first, I'll do a Wednesday show for 2 hours, which was Geek Out with Aru, right? And Geek Out with Malfunction, right? Became my like this handle, DJ Malfunction, whatever. And then I was like doing a TM, by the way. And then I started doing a Saturday night one because I thought I love heavy metal. I like rock music. What if I do that? And so I did a 2 hour on Saturday night from like 6:30 to 8:30. I'd walk down and I'll walk back home. So that's an hour, almost like 40 minutes just to walk there and walk back. And then I would do like about 2, 3 hours of just research during the week to come up with what I was going to talk about and have guests on and stuff. And I got to research like heavy metal music all around the world. And then I did a punk music all around the world type thing, right? And I got to listen to a variety of music from all around the world. And it just, just seeing how the same music that that I, you know, that I kind of love is actually translated and played by, and written and made up, formulated, uh, you know, in another culture, right? So I mean, I'm Indian, right? You guys already know that. So I love heavy metal, right? And then you've got a band like Bloodywood, right? Who over in India were like went out of their, not went out of the way, but I mean, I was supposed to like interview these guys one time, and I never got around to it because to set it up because I kind of like the radio thing went down because like I had to stop because I started wearing myself out 4 hours a week, walking down, walking back, and wasn't just good for my health. But then in the middle of that in 2019, it was like I think it was like about 2018 or something. Uh, I also got asked to if I was interested in putting on a convention, pop culture convention. So I did that, and I've talked about that on here as well before. So I don't want to redo that, but so I want to play you a bit of this in stop this Indian metal, right? From and these I've watched this documentary on these guys as well, and it's beautiful. It's a really good documentary from them going to, I think it was like going all the way to Germany for Wacken Festival, the biggest metal festival in Europe. And it was just awesome seeing because you know, I kind of got in on them very early on through like just saw them somehow during my research, right? And then I was like, oh, they have a Patreon. So I joined their Patreon and I got the whole album. And then I lost the album. And then I went back and found the album, right? It was sitting in my freaking Google Drive and I didn't even know that in my email box, right? And and so I was able to share that on the radio on the night of like metal around the world kind of thing. And so I got to see guys who are as hardcore into metal as I was, as I am, and I will probably will be, but also musicians, right? Because I also then got to see the history behind metal in India and how much, it's been around for a while, at least 20 odd years. And that's because bands go over there and international bands, right? American bands go over there and they play there. And then you see like how they had their own grassroots festivals and stuff. And then out of that, you had, you know, what they call Indian street metal, right? But this is Bloodywood, right? So I'm gonna play a bit of that. Hopefully, I don't get dinged for this either. But check this out. It's a tabla, you know, and yeah, it's just is that volume too loud? Just that coming in, right? Yep. Diversity defined, war and war, unity undefined. Swords in the furnace, that is the daisy grind. Put the body with my fists as much as my mind. This is Raul Cara featuring Raul. I think it was, Raul Kerr. So step into the scene if you're ready to go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Show us what you got. Are you ready now? Show us what you got. We're gonna show you what we got. We're Indian, so you know we make it hot. Right, I'm going to play only that much of that before I get dinged. But for me, right, as a metal lover, right, and as someone is, who has been into thrash, speed metal, death metal, things like Obituary, Onslaught, bands like that, along with bands like, because I love music, right? I love metal music. And for me, I can listen to Poison and then listen to death metal, right? I can enjoy listening to Megadeth, right? And then and I can listen to, let's get rid of that. I can listen to Megadeth and then turn around and listen to Def Leppard because I grew up on that stuff, right? And I can enjoy all that stuff because I love metal music. I love the guitar. I love the bass. I love the drums. I love the ragey singing. I love in your face attitude that metal has. And not only that, but then the storytelling. You look at, I mean, like for me, like Megadeth is my number one band, right? And there's about 5 bands that I really, admire beyond anything, which is Megadeth, Iron Maiden, Tool, and I can't put Tool before. I guess you can have like Tool and A Perfect Circle together for me, right? So, but I also love this band, and I haven't heard it for a while. So, like, what I just got reminded when Raul Kerr was singing there, I actually was doing that, right? The rapping with a metal band behind me on stage, and we did about 2 songs. We actually competed in a comp, and then we kind of came second equal on that. So I had my friends, and this was at that time I was a youth leader, like so I was working as a volunteer youth worker doing drama, music, and stage productions, right? Around about 15 to 20, 30 people, depending. And I was also performing in other people's other producers' stage plays, rapping, being a rapping rat, right? dress up as a rat with the whiskers and nose and everything and a tail. And, you know, I think that was my first cosplay, maybe one of my first cosplays, but I didn't make the suit, right? But, and then, you know, then I was also a rapping pastor, you know, like I said, I was backgrounds in church, uh, and Christian church, I should say that, right? And, and I found that like that sort of has prepared me for a lot of things in life, because I think it's just sort of like the mentorship I got from older gentlemen and ladies in that time, and especially even my peers. It was really cool because like I came, you know, I kind of like drifted there for like at least almost a decade, just like not knowing what I wanted. I just knew that I wanted to do art, right? I wanted to be creative, and then I got to do stage. So, you know, there was two things. It was like when I was like, I think when I was getting into deciding what should I do, you know, when I was coming into art school, I was like, do you do drama or should you do art? And I just went, you know, I just love doing things with my hands, right, craft and stuff. And so I still do that, and you know, I'm trying to set myself up to do a 24 piece ceramic thing, and I need to get onto it. I think I'm gonna, you know, I just need to get onto it. But you know, there's so many things I want to do in life, but here I am, right? So this song, you know, like when Roll Kerr was rapping right at the start there, you know, before the guys started doing the thrash and metal thing, and I just got a reminder of that when I was doing with a friend. Like, so I'd do a verse, he'd do a verse, I do a verse, he'd do it, and we'd do the chorus together. And it was just so cool. Like, I mean, I wrote, you know, the two of us wrote it together, if I remember right. And it was just cool to have a band behind you doing that. And this is like about 90, probably 2002, 2003. And it was, no, it was about 2001. You know, I wonder if we still have a video of that somewhere. You know, things, you get loose stuff. I've lost so many stuff over the years. You know, this is like about 20 odd years ago, right? At least 21. So, or 22. So for me, like, I mean, I started playing bass like when I was about 19, 20, and for a couple of years there, then I was playing guitar. But you know, and then when I left when I left that church to go and take up a position as a paid youth worker, youth director, co-youth director, or assistant youth director, I should say. I was able to play guitar then, like, and then do that on stage. And we actually that year, we actually, if I remember right, we won the Shield for the youth thing, right? Because you had to be under 35, right? That was up to the thing. You had to like under 35 being good, and I was like about 27. So, and yeah, and so I, you know, wrote a song and we performed a song, and so that meant like because you were performing the song that you wrote and arranged the music and stuff, you actually got extra points, and you know, and then everything else, right? But it was great, and this was for the Salvation Army, you know, and so I have that background, like actually, you know, and that allowed me to learn how to do editing, and then go. Of course, from that, I went on to film school for 3 years, and then, you know, I actually did some like film some music videos for my friends who were there, and there was two I did, and you know, yeah, it was just I love making short film. But then I had my accident, and you know, that was that. And then I got, of course, got into comics, as I mentioned yesterday on the podcast with, yeah, check that out, by the way. The podcast I did with, excuse me, with, I'll just put the link up here so you guys can check it out. I did with Critical, JR from Critical uh, Blast. It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I do enjoy all our, you know, like I just enjoy talking to people, because usually I'm just at home by myself in front of a you know, computer, just working away or building Lego, or you know, arranging toys and stuff, or going through comics, just sorting through things. I'm like, I find myself just sorting through things all the time, just moving things around, and then putting things up and then putting things out. Yeah, that takes a bit of time, but I'm sure I'll get around to getting it properly done. So back to, this beautiful song, man. Like, you know, this is a Japanese name for it. Like for this is for the second part. Let me get the first part. Excuse me. The second part's called, I think, I Love You. And first part is, let me see what the first part's called. What was the English translation for that? It's just movie one and movie two. So the story is, right, about this fantasy animation adventure movie. And I gave the first one 8 out of 10 and the second one 9 out of 10 because, man, the second one just like squeezed the air out of my lungs. And so a terminally ill girl is revived by a magical penguin spirit. In return, her brothers are sent on a quest for the mysterious Penguindrum, right? That's what it's called. So the director is Kuihiko Ihuru. Let me just put that up so I don't get it wrong. I'll share that with you guys. Let me share the screen. This is from IMDb, and there's the one. So here it is. So Kuihiko Ikuhara, right? Kuihiko Ikuhara, and wrong page. And I don't know, like, can't open much of it up, but like, he's also, let's see what else has he worked on. He's worked on Sarazanmai 2019, Girl Revolution Utana. I think I've seen that. Let me just check if I've got a ranking on that. No, I probably will have to see that, right? So now, are you able to see that? Yep. So let's go have a look at this. Because as I mentioned, like, this is just such a, I watched the, like, I watched the anime, right? And I went to thing, and I heard the song, and I went to my Facebook, and I shared it with my friends. I said, "You got to watch this, right?" On Facebook, and I went, this is just such a touching. It just felt such a, you know, such a amazing sort of the song. I was like, check out the song. So that was my listening. Check out the song. It's off this movie, and then I watched the second one. And even 20 minutes before finishing, I was like, edit. All right. I could hardly breathe. Like, this has just had me like on the verge of tears. But sadly, to be honest, it actually had me in tears afterwards. Like, because it's such a crazy journey that these kids are on. And they're grown up, they're teenagers, and they're young. It's kind of like flashbacks. So that's why I call this one anime flashbacks, right? And the title of this stream, right? So, and I felt like I just couldn't breathe. Like, it was tears, and I was like, I don't usually have that happen where I was choking up, and I'm here doing Lego and I'm choking up. So because I'm still distracted, I'm listening to things. But one thing I did do is I was going through like up to 1 hour, and then I stopped and I went, okay, I need to put the subtitles, and so I could watch it with the subtitles. And it was even better because with the subtitles, then I could watch what then I could look up every now and then, see what was being said and stuff. Because sometimes, for the sake of trying to localize it, in a sense where they're trying to like mix it with the word of mouth, they miss out some really important words, because a lot of time they're just writing up the text, right? Translation, trying to make it as easy as possible. And I've heard this happen a lot with translations and stuff. So it feels like a lot of times, that that there's a loss in translation, right? Like that title of that movie, right? From Sofia Coppola. Coppola. And it's and sometimes with that, it's good to, especially if you're watching foreign film, even if they have an adaptation into English. Is that the adaptation? Dubbed into English. It is still worthwhile having the subtitles on, because sometimes there's something, like I said, is lost in translation. But if you have the exact words, it's so much more meaningful. And there was little bits and pieces where that comes through on this. So if you're watching this movie, right, Recycle, right? Let me just get that text up. So if you're watching Recycle, Penguindrum, Penguindrum, right? Have the subs on, right? Have the subs on, because you will enjoy it in the English as well, and it's a really good translation in the English, right? Dub, and there is emotion there, but there's something about in the natural language, in the natural mother tongue, that when you hear it in the natural mother tongue of this, of the work, of the of the artwork, which, because anime is an artwork, right? It's an art form that you actually get the emotional connection a bit more. But even so, like I said, I was watching it in English dub, but had the subtitles on, and the emotion was still delivered. But sometimes, I felt like when I switch it back to the to the Japanese, because I was like multitasking, I couldn't watch all of it. But when I did hear the voice, it was like so good, right? It was just so good. And then I switched back to dub, because I was, working. And I'm thankful for the dub, right? I'm really thankful. And I mean, so much so that I actually had, Blue Lock, the, gosh, one of the voice actors from Blue Lock on earlier this year, right? Gosh, I forgot his name. I just, I just saw him share one of my vids on, like posts on YouTube. So let me just grab that, and I'll link it here so you guys can see. And it's I think it's under, where are we? There's unedited. Gosh, like I said, I'm winging at some points here, and sometimes I've got it all set up. And let's see, interviews, right? So let me grab the interviews, and let me see how far back I got to go to get the one with, actually, gosh, it's probably easier just to go to my own channel and, I guess search. I don't always get it, I'm so smart on these things. Blue Lock. Right, let's see if we can get that through Blue Lock. Right, here we go. Perfect. So it's Drew, right? Drew Breedlove. He's a voice actor for Blue Lock, Maguru Bachira, right? And so here's the link for that. And that was just so cool. It was kind of like what got me. It was like the second one I did, like with the international, outside of New Zealand kind of thing, international interview, right? So please check it out, because you'll enjoy it, right? I had a really good time talking to Drew, who's from Texas, and I've talked to quite a few people from Texas. I actually have a friend who lives in Texas, a close friend, Hawk, and I've also met another close friend, Stu, because you get to know people quite well when you actually have hour-long discussions with them. And so I really enjoyed, or 2 hours long, right? I really enjoyed talking with Drew, and please check out that, interview I did with them, or the discussion. And it was really fun. And we got to learn a lot about like behind the scenes of anime dubbing and stuff.